You'll have the same rainfalls on us all, right? But if you're not getting around people who have their umbrella up, you're gonna get wet.
Struggle, I had to fall. I seen real, they turn into frauds. I cannot leave, I want it all. You cannot peek, I'm shooting off. Give me a lick, I'm turning up. When I'm a rich, we run it up.
Before I look, yeah, my life a book, yeah. It's not about that, get shook, yeah. You tryna take back what I already took, yeah. Only international flights booked, yeah.
Okay, welcome everybody. It's the Go-Gettahs show. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dre, and I want to welcome everybody. My the original Go-Gettahs, right? Yeah, the O.G.Gs. I like that. So the original Go-Gettahs. I'm about to start calling you guys my O.G.Gs. So that's everybody who's viewing in. So I'm super excited you guys plugged in, guys and girls, plugged in to the channel. So we're gonna get right into this, right? Today we're gonna talk about how you think about yourself, okay? Like you are what you think, if that makes sense, right? I read a book a little while ago, and this is a book that I reread pretty often. It's called The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. I think that's how you say Schwartz. I don't hate the name Schwartz, but every time I see a Z at the end, it kind of gives me a little tongue twister. But a great book. If you haven't read that book, you definitely want to check that out. They got the, you can do the audio book, buy the book, whatever you want to do with it. Nevertheless, chapter 6 is one of the chapters in that book that revolutionized my life in a sense. In that chapter, it talks about how you think about yourself and how you want to be presented to other people. And as I was coming up as a young man, that was super key to me because it was legit my siblings, my cousins, and my friends. Anything outside of that, I didn't really know how to communicate and I want to say manipulate, but in a way manipulate people to do what I want or to get where I need to get in life, right? So in that chapter, they talk about some sort of self-respect. And with the self-respect, it's kind of showing you that you need to have some sort of self-respect for yourself in order for other people to see it through you. I'm super big on that. The way you carry yourself, the way you talk, the way you dress, those different things are super important because when you meet somebody for the first time, and when I say somebody, this could be anything. It could be dating, it could be work, it could be business, whatever the case may be. When you meet somebody the first time, that first impression is legit the last impression. So the first part I want to talk about is you feeling good about yourself. How do you feel good about yourself? For one, you have to think that you're a good person. You have to put good thoughts in your mind. I personally recommend getting around people who just talk positive. When I say talk positive, I mean their thoughts are legitimate as far as they're not talking negative about other people. They're optimistic about situations that they're going through. They're not letting life beat them down, right? We all go through crap, right? I know we just came out of 2020. I think everybody in the world went through some sort of stress or something, right? And if you get around people who are optimistic about it, because there's people who we all have the same rainfalls on us all, right? But if you're not getting around people who have their umbrella up, you're gonna get wet. We're all gonna get wet, but if you have an umbrella, you could kind of save yourself from that. So again, self-respect for me is one of the key ones, and one of the main ways you can actually do that is hanging around people who have a good vibe, good energy, and that can encourage you about some of the things that you're going through. One thing I want to also say is the way you dress, right? That lasting impression is super, super big. And the way you get in the door is by the way you look, right? And people say, oh, you shouldn't judge somebody by the way they look, maybe by the way they think. That's true. But in order for me to get to know how you think, I'm going to take a look at you. That's just me. I'm just going to take a look. And from that look will determine how you're addressed. And that's not me being biased or anything like that. But that's how people recommend. That's how people work. If you look at, let's say somebody who walks into a store, right? If someone walks into a store and they have a suit on, right? Now, I'm not telling everybody to walk in 3-piece suits to the grocery store or whatever. But 9 times out of 10, if someone walks in the store in the elevator, 9 times out of 10, when you greet that person, maybe not you, but when people greet them, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. How you doing, sir? How you doing, ma'am? Can I get this for you? Because their aura is bringing off what we call respect. It's just the aura, just off presentation alone. So, in my opinion, I believe almost 50% of the job is done if you look the part. Now, granted, let's say if somebody else comes in, they may not be well dressed, or they may be, how do you say this nicely? Maybe, let's just say someone who's homeless, right? Somebody who's homeless walks into a store, someone walks into an elevator. Do you see how people react to those people? Sometimes people don't want to help out. Some people don't want to open the door. Some people don't even want to acknowledge those people. And that's simply based off the way of appearance. Think about that. So appearance is super key. I give you an example of I have a relative, right? My little cousin. There's probably about an 8-year gap between us. So as I'm growing as an adult, he's coming up as a preteen, teenager, becoming a young man. He likes to, dress sweatpants or, whatever's popping and trending in the world. And one of the things about young men, they always want to get girls, right? So it's, yo, Trey, how do you get this girl? And the very first thing I told him is, bro, the way you dress, you gotta tweak that. Forget about how you talk and how you think about yourself. Because if you dress different, then automatically you start feeling better about yourself. There's nobody who walks around dressed nice, feeling good, doesn't walk somewhere with confidence. So if you look good, that does about 50% of the job about how you feel. Now the other 50% is about who you're hanging around with. So if you hang around with dirt people and y'all look good, there's gonna be a bunch of good looking people who just got trash mentalities. But if you could do half the job for yourself as far as getting dressed, looking the part, you did half the job right there. The second part, I believe, is getting around the right people. And then when I say the right people, it's not necessarily go find a mentor or all that stuff. But if you have a group of friends who are positive, they may be going to school, they're optimistic. And optimistic for me is big, right? It's like that whole the glass is half empty, half full kind of deal, right? Everybody glass is spilled. So we got half, the cup is half full. But if you want to get around the people who are thinking about refilling their cup, right? If you get around the people who are worried about the water that's spilled, they might not ever get their cup back to the top because they're too worried about what happened. So hopefully that helps. First lesson is getting dressed. Second, get around some good people. Hope that helps. Shout out to the O.G.Gs. Appreciate y'all for plugging in. It's a wrap.